Hello, and welcome to Stinger Diecast. Today we're going to take a quick look at the Tarmac Works Global64 line. This is a relatively new line of cars from Tarmac Works, and there's a small number of models that have been put out so far. So we're just going to take a quick look at each of the models that I have in my collection. And as far as I know, I have at least one example of all of the models that have been released so far. I could be wrong about that, and if you know of models that exist already that I don't have, please comment below. First off, on Tarmac Works itself, Tarmac Works was originally founded in 2014, and they're based out of Hong Kong. And the company is made up of people who are passionate about cars and car models. And they started out making very accurate display models that came in acrylic cases with lots of detail. And these models, I've looked at this car in another video, so I'm not really going to show it in depth here. But these are very detailed models, and they're very geared towards just display, as a display model. This is now a line within Tarmac Works called Hobby 64. I believe originally it was just this is what Tarmac Works did, but once they introduced their other lines, they gave this the Hobby 64 name. And in addition to Hobby 64 and Global 64, they have other lines. They have Road 64, which is the same, similar level of detail as Hobby 64, but with a focus on road cars, whereas Hobby 64 tends to be race or modified cars. Collab 64, where they have done collaborations with other diecast brands, such as Mini GT, Schuco, and Ignition Model. And they've put out a number of those collaborations. And they have Parts 64, which is just accessories. And then in 2022, they have two new lines coming, Hobby 64 Plus, which they refer to as Hobby 64 with a twist. No idea what that actually means, but that's coming 2022. And then Truck 64, which obviously is going to be truck castings. Be interesting to see what comes out of that. But what we're here to look at today is the not Hobby 64, the Global 64 line. And this line is clearly, it has to have been largely inspired by Mini GT. It seems like the quality level that they're hitting and the features of the cars and the price point and everything seems to kind of align to compete with Mini GT. Which to me is very interesting because I love Mini GT. I love the price point. I'm not super comfortable with spending, more than $25 on a car, on a single car. So I like the $10 to $15 price point for cars, for premium cars, and I think it achieves a good balance of detail and value. So the cars are of a very similar quality to a Mini GT, and they have a lot of similar features. Like they have the bendable mirrors, and the wheels are of similar quality, and just overall the castings seem to be of a similar quality. I'd say maybe Tarmac Works Global64 at this stage has maybe a few more quality control problems than Mini GT, but overall, the cars themselves, the feel and everything is very similar to a Mini GT. So as far as the models go, at this stage, I only know of 7 different models. And we have these starting with the first one that they ever put out, which is this Audi R8. This was probably not the first version of this casting that they put out, but this was the first casting. The Audi R8, and the only one I have is in this police livery. And this is actually let's look at that real quickly. So if you want to know the casting, so on the Tarmac Works packaging, there is some information that tells you the casting. So this is T64G. So this means Tarmac 64 Global. And then you have 011. This is the casting number, and then SEMA is a particular version of the casting. So this packaging was for this 2018 Ford Mustang GT4 SEMA 2018 or 2016 presentation car. And so you have, so this number is the critical one to know the castings that have been put out. So I only know of 7 castings, but these casting have, or these, I have casting numbers here as high as 15. So there's other castings that they have, or other casting numbers that they've assigned that either haven't been released or I just don't know what they are. So number 1 is the Audi. Number 4 is this Aston Martin. What is this? These don't say on the bottom, do they? Oh yeah, there it does. DBS Superleggara. I can't believe I forgot what this one is called. This is number 4. Number 5 is this Agera, which I have not opened yet. We'll open this in a minute. Then number 9 is the Mercedes. This is a C63 AMG, I believe. Yeah, black edition. And number 11 is the Mustang. And there's 2 versions of this casting currently. There's the Shelby GT350 version in this white. I believe there's also a blue version of this. And then the GT4 version, which is has been released in a couple different race liveries now. But these are both number 11, so the same base casting with just some slight variation in parts and so on. And then number 15 is the Zonda R, which is the thing, or the release that, you know, I think put Tarmac Works Global64 on a lot of people's radar. This is a very, very cool casting overall, and it's the one that really got my attention. Once this came out, I was like, oh wow, these are pretty cool, and so I've been picking them up a little bit more often and starting to really follow what they're doing. So that's number 15. So obviously through this we're missing number 2, number 3, 6, 7, and 8, and number 10. So I don't know what those castings are, if they've been released or not. They don't show up on their website. And, you know, searching around for others to purchase, I have not seen anything else that's available. So at this stage, you know, not a whole lot of different models available, but it's pretty interesting, and you can tell that there's going to be a lot more coming, and it'll be, you know, if you like Mini GT, then this is another brand to definitely be paying attention to. So before we wrap this up, let's go ahead and crack open this Agera R. I haven't gotten to look at it yet, so I'm kind of anxious to see it, and we'll take a little overview of the packaging to. Should have cut these stickers before starting this. Nice shot of my hand. Sorry about that. All right, so the current packaging is a clamshell. I've talked about this before. It is, you know, you can open it. It is resealable, so you can put the car back in it and store it in the packaging. And then it comes with the box, and then the car is held in this plastic thing. However, the silliness is that this plastic holder does not fit in the box. And so the box is useless. The box is completely generic, doesn't say anything about the car, and it's really kind of pointless. And you can't, you know, you can't store the car in it in this protector. So I don't really understand the point of this box, but oh well. Supposedly they are changing this packaging. That is what I've heard on a few videos. So interesting. This is also the first one of these that I've seen where they have not installed all of the parts. So there's mirrors in here that apparently you have to install yourself. That's really kind of disappointing. kind of skimping out on doing their job and not installing the mirrors. But I'm sure that's probably relatively easy. So anyway, this is new to me. I have not looked at this car before. I can't say that I'm super huge fan of this car, although the only other version of it I have is from Hot Wheels, and this is much, much nicer than the Hot Wheels version. This definitely looks a lot cooler. And, you know, it's just like a typical Mini GT. You have your inserted headlights, or inserted details for headlights, inserted details for taillights, and overall it's a pretty nice plastic wing. So you gotta be careful with that. Exhaust, like the details around the diffuser. Yeah, this is pretty nice. The interior, this is where you can really see the difference between the Global 64 line and the Hobby 64 line is in the detail that's in the interior. I mean, these look to be cast pretty well, but if you were to look at the interior on this thing, this, you know, you can see the seatbelts. The seatbelts have silver buckles, and you know, and they have stickers, or, you know, for the branding on the seatbelts and things along those lines. There's just a lot more detail on the interior, whereas these are fairly basic, single color, not a huge amount of detail beyond that. So a little disappointing about the mirrors, but I'm sure that's probably not too hard to take care of. And overall, it's a cool model, and it's, as far as I know, these are one example of each that is currently available. And it's a brand I'm pretty excited about and looking forward to see what they come out with next. So thanks for watching, and please, you know, like, comment, subscribe, all those good YouTube-like things, and have a good evening. Thank you.